long term. In news SEO, when you publish an article, which is the bread and butter of a news publisher, they publish articles to try and get traffic to those articles. You have one chance to get it right. There's a very small window of ranking opportunity for most news articles, usually around 48 hours, if even that, which means you have to get it right the moment you publish. You can't go in a couple of days later and tweak it and then try to improve it. In most cases, for most articles, you get only that one opportunity to rank. And that changes the dynamic of how you approach SEO drastically. It's much more about real-time SEO, about getting that optimization right from the get-go and giving that article maximum opportunity to rank immediately, which starts on a very fundamental level with the technical optimization. Google, for example, renders web pages as if it was a browser in a headless Chrome browser to try and get a full visual impression of what that web page is about and how useful and usable that web page is, etc., etc. In the context of news, as far as I understand it, Google does not do that because news is too fast moving. The rendering stage of Google's indexing systems can have a bit of a delay, sometimes hours, sometimes even days, between when Google first crawls and indexes a page and then renders it in its headless browser. You can't have that sort of a wait period for news. News has to start ranking straight away the moment it's published. So Google bases its indexing of news articles primarily on the HTML source code. So this is one area of SEO where having well-optimized HTML source is still important. And it's something that most SEOs just don't pay any attention to because in most other contexts, it really doesn't matter. But in news, it does. And another thing, the most important on-page optimization factor for classic SEO would be the title tag, the meta title. For news articles, that's a very low priority ranking factor because you tend to look more at the article headline rather than the actual title tag. And experiments have shown you can have a drastically different title tag than the article headline, especially the headline that's defined in the news article structured data. And Google will base its rankings of the news article in top stories and Google News primarily on the news article structured data headline, not on the meta title. So there's a lot of little facets like that make news SEO drastically different from classic SEO.